Hi everyone, this is Ramon from DonDivi. Thank you so much for trusting on DiviMenus module and DiviMenus Flex module. So in this video, I'm going to share with you my screen in order to better understand how you can achieve the sub layout, the last layout include with the DiviMenus module, and of course you can download it for free from dondivi.com. Okay, so let's go. First of all, I'm going to add a new page here called video sub, for example. Okay, the name, of course, it's up to you. Okay, I'm going to enter into the visual builder, and now I'm going to, in this case, I'm going to upload. Here it is. I'm going to upload the layout include with this layout. Okay, so I'm going to build from scratch. Okay, perfect. Now from here, I'm going to upload my replacing existing content. Okay, I'm going to enter here. I'm going to upload the sub layout JSON file. Okay, so open, here it is, replace existing content and import. Perfect. So perfect, here it is. This is the new layout. I'm going to save changes, and now we need to replace the header from the theme builder. Okay, so let's go exit visual builder and going to dashboard. Okay, Divi theme builder. So here it is. I'm going to scroll down. Here it is, and now I'm going to add the sorry for the page. Here it is, specific page, the last one, video sub. Okay, create template. I'm going in this case to disable the footer. I'm going, of course, to delete the current header, and let's go. I'm going to choose build custom header. So perfect. Now I'm going to add a new row here and DiviMenus Flex module. Here it is. Great. This is the menu button by default. Okay. I'm going to add the first menu item called home. Okay, I'm going to enable the show icon. Here it is, and I'm going to type, for example, bold. This one, right? Place it on top, and I'm going to increase the padding. Perfect. Okay. So next, I'm going to disable the icon only on tablet and phone. So let me show you. I'm going to hide not the text but the icon on tablet, right? And also on phone. Perfect. Great. Now I'm going to choose for it menu item text. I'm going to choose this text, for example. I'm going to select the bold, right? And probably the 16. Okay. Now I'm going to choose the color, a different color for the icon. I'm going to choose two different colors, one for desktop and one for hover. Here it is. I'm going to enter this color, great. And now on hover, this one, great. Okay, blue and pink, perfect. Now from here, from the parent, from the general settings, I'm going to design tab, and from menu items, just disable the background color for all the menu items. Okay, so and I'm going to add a border bottom from here. Okay, border width, I'm going to choose, for example, sorry, not for the entire menu item, just for only to the bottom here. Perfect. For example, 2 points. Okay, and now again I'm going to set the pink color. I'm going to select on hover a transparent color, and for desktop and on hover just the pink color. Yeah, perfect. Great. Now we just need to duplicate the first menu item, for example 5 times. Here it is. And now I'm going to double click on the second one in order to jump faster into the menu item settings, and I'm going to name it, for example, services. And okay, I'm going to choose the anchor link. Here it is. Perfect. Now the third one, called WordPress menu. Sorry, I'm going to use uppercase here. Great. WordPress menu. I'm going to choose a toggle, this one. Okay. Fourth, custom. For example, I'm going to choose the arrows, this one. And finally, home note, but full width. And in this case, I'm going to choose. I want this C. Okay, perfect. And now, great. It looks really great. Now it's time to choose the logo. Okay, so I'm going to here, and okay, here the logo, and just add a logo from your WordPress. Here it is. We can add a homepage link for it as a dynamic link, and now it's time to align all the stuff here. Okay, so before aligning, I'm going to hide the menu button for desktop. Okay, menu button, here it is, hide, just enable the responsive settings. We want it hidden, on desktop, but not on tablet. We want, the menu button on tablet, and of course also on phone. But on tablet, we want to change the direction of the DiviMenu. So enable responsive settings again, and for tablet, instead of horizontal, we're going to choose vertical. Of course, also for mobile and horizontal for desktop. Okay, so just at the end of the video, we will enable the show open in order to display, the DiviMenu hidden on tablet and phone. But okay, we are going to make this at the end in order to better work on the DiviMenu. Now from design, I'm going to choose align the right alignment. Okay, I'm going to make before enable the full width menu items, I'm going to choose a background color for them in order to better understand. Yeah, I'm going to choose this one, transparent for tablet, but I'm going to choose a gray color. Okay, I'm going to paste this one, for example. Yeah, and of course same for tablet, for phone. Okay, so okay, now we are going to make the menu items full width on tablet and also on phone. But as you can see, this is very important. The menu items here, the DiviMenu, actually stops here because this is the wrapper, the container for the logo. So this is the reason we can enable on tablet and phone the logo as absolute. So let's go to logo. Here it is, logo, and we're going to choose for tablet absolute position. Here it is, of course, also for phone. Great, it looks great. Now it's time to align correctly the logo. We can make it in two different ways, okay? Because the logo has its own vertical alignment field, so we can choose, for example, middle for desktop, but of course we don't want middle for tablet because here it is, it's vertical aligned with the entire DiviMenu, so we want top for tablet and top, of course, for phone. So we just need to add a little margin, a little padding to the logo on top, just for tablet and for phone. So let's go for 2 spacing, logo margin. I'm going to enable again the responsive settings, and here we can play with it. Let's go to add 20, maybe 15, perfect, and I think it looks perfect. Okay, so great. Finally, I'm going to reduce the DiviMenu opening on tablet, for example, I'm going to choose directly 5. Perfect. Of course, same for phone. I think it looks nice. So let's go to style the menu button. Here it is. Sorry, I'm going to make 2 things here. I'm going to choose the icon, secondary and alternative icon, for hover. This one, I'm going to select I'm going to select the cross, right? Sorry, I'm going to select the hamburger for desktop, and now on hover, let me check again. I'm going to select, Divi in this case doesn't allow me to select while I'm watching it. Okay, but this is the hover icon, okay, for hover. So we want also the alternative icon, the hover icon, to be applied on click, okay, not on hover, just on click. Finally, from Design tab, menu button, I'm going to choose the background color. Okay, it's up to you if you want to enable the resize effect. It's up to you. In this case, I'm going to leave it enabled. Okay, so great. Now, okay, let me check again. Mobile, tablet, font. Great, it looks nice. I'm going to add the last menu item here, okay? This is the search. Okay, and note that it jumps into a new line because there's no room enough for it, but there's no problem because we are going to choose an icon in this case. I'm going to choose, for example, the search this one, and I'm going to choose just for this menu item the pink color, right? And a white color. Okay. I'm going to choose the secondary hover color for the icon will be pink. So we need again back to background, hover options, select white in this case. Okay, great. Here it is. Perfect. Now we want it as a circle. I mean, border radius. We need to do it from here. We can do it from, sorry, because I'm going to type in this case some CSS just for this one. Custom CSS here. DiviMenu menu item. Border radius. Sorry. Radius. 50%. Okay, perfect. Now, okay, I'm going to enable this menu item to force the visibility also when the DiviMenu is closed. I mean, I'm going to change to sorry, I don't want this shape. So you can, for example, from main element, in this case I'm just on the search icon, so I'm going to paste here this one with auto important. Okay, and that's it, it's fixed. Okay, but as I said, I'm going to force the visibility for this menu item when closed. So from here, visibility, forced visible on tablet and phone. Okay, perfect. And finally, I'm going to locate the search icon here beside the menu button. Okay, so in order to do this, we just need to make this icon as position absolute. So of course, let me first enable the responsive settings. Okay, because we only want it absolute on tablet. Perfect. I'm going to set to right. I'm going to check also for mobile. Great, perfect. But of course, we just need to move a bit to the left the menu button. So now let's go to the spacing. Here it is. Menu button margin or menu button padding. I'm going to enable the responsive settings for tablet, menu button margin. I'm going to choose, for example, to write, don't know, probably 70. Perfect. I think it's perfect. And of course, for mobile, we can reduce it just a bit, maybe 50 or whatever. Okay, maybe don't know. Probably I'm going to increase it. Sorry, to 60. But of course, it's up to you. Again, I'm going to increase a menu button margin. The bottom, sorry, because in order to separate probably 20 pixels. I think it's better. Yeah, and that's it. I think it looks nice. Yeah, great. Yeah, I think it looks great. Yeah, so let me close. Yeah, I think it's nice. So it's time to choose the link types for each menu item. Okay, so in order to do this, I'm going to select a WordPress menu for this menu item. I mean a WordPress menu from my current WordPress installation. I'm going to choose a Divi library layout for the custom menu item, and I'm going to choose also a Divi library layout, but we're going to make it as full width. And finally, for the search icon, we're going to choose the pop-up link type in order to pop up a bar also stored into my Divi library. Okay, so let me show you the layouts. I'm going to save here, close. Okay, I'm going to save changes. Yeah, and now let me show from my Divi library. Okay, here they are. Subsearch, full width, and custom. Okay, I'm going to open the first one. Subsearch. Okay, here it is. This is a pink section, just with a pink color here, and box shadow, and also an animation, in order to create a cool effect. Okay, and that's it. Now the search module, this placeholder, and some styles from here, button text, and okay, there's no problem. So let's go back again. Here it is. Now sub custom, for example, in pink. Here it is. This is the row. Background color. Sizing. I've set a width of 300 pixels, but I leave as default for tablet and mobile. Okay, and that's it. Also a box shadow here, and finally just some blurbs, and there's some blurbs with this icon, this one, another one, an email. Of course, you can set, for example, a telephone number from here if you want to make a clickable telephone number, or even a clickable email. You can type this tel and then the telephone number. Okay, same for mail. In case of mail, will be mail to. Here it is, mail to. And that's it. And finally, a social module for the social networks. Here it is, social media. So all they are Divi modules by default. Okay, so let's go back again, and finally the set full width, and here it is. This is a full width section. Okay, in this case I've said okay, well, not for the section, because let me show you. I'm going to show you the sizing. Okay, the sizing, I've set a max height for it, 70 of the viewport. That's why this space is here below. But the reason is because we need to set a height for it, and then for tablet and mobile, we need to make this overflow, this scroll. Okay, we have to enable this scroll. I mean, so we need to set the width, the height for it, and from advanced visibility also set vertical overflow as auto. Okay, so that's it. So on phone it looks perfect. So that's it. And finally, I've set for the row a background with a white color. Okay, and also enable the background pattern included by Divi. Okay, the waves, I think it's cool. Okay, so let me show you the sizing. Of course, 100%, okay, of the section, and 100% the max width. Okay, so finally some blurbs here. Yeah, one blurb here, these icons. Of course, the icon is here top, the settings, and some buttons here. Here it is, just a button with some style, some styles here, button with this, and without border, of course, and that's it. I think it's cool and so easy. Here, the pink is the third column background. Okay, so I'm going to select the third column in order to show you the pink, and also the spacing around it, 40 40 30 30. Okay, 40 40 30 30, in order to leave room enough around the blurbs and social module. Okay, so let's go to close and go back again. So that's it. I'm going to enter again into the theme builder. Okay, I'm going to scroll down to the last template. Here it is, and now I'm going to, okay, here it is. Now I'm going to choose the first link type for WordPress menu. I'm going to double click on it in order to jump faster into the menu item settings. Here it is. Scroll down to link, and here choose link type. I'm going to choose sub, and from here we're going to choose the WordPress menu option. Okay, now from here, from this drop down the menu, we're going to choose, for example, this one. Okay, of course you need to have some WordPress menu into your WordPress installation. I mean, from appearance menus, you can choose one of your menus. In case you doesn't, you don't, sorry, in case you don't have any menu there, you need to create one. Okay, so now this is a new feature preview in the builder. Okay, I think this is very nice because you can you can see on the visual builder the current styles, you know, of your WordPress menu. So let's go, because as you can see, each menu item has a border bottom line, you know. The reason is that all the menu items here from this WordPress menu inherit the menu item styles, you know, from the parent. They are inheriting the styles from its own parent. So the parent, of course, has a border bottom, you know. So we need to style the Divi menu in this case. In case you don't want the border bottom in the menu items, I'm going to from Advanced tab, Custom CSS, just Divi menu item, text icon, WordPress menu, here it is, and WordPress menu item. Okay, so I'm going to just type border none. Okay, I'm going in this way. We are removing all the borders from the WordPress menu item. Okay, so then from design sub, I'm going to choose the two different backgrounds. I'm going to choose the pink background for all the menu items, and on hover this one. Okay, so of course we need to change the font color. I'm going to set, for example, a white. Great. I'm going to decrease to 15. Yeah, because you know, by default, they also inherit the menu item parent font size, you know, and it's 16. So we are going to change to 15. And now we can set up the menu item padding. For example, we could 15, and the sub levels we're going to reduce it just a bit, 10. Perfect. And finally, from content link, we can make all the sub levels collapsible. Yeah, I think it's great. Perfect. Okay, now we are going to increase the size just a bit, 300 pixels, but we need to set 100% on tablet and of course phone. Okay, now it's time to set the sub offset, you know, the distance between the menu item and the sub. I think I'm going to enable again the responsive settings. For example, 25, but we want here just 0 and of course 0. Okay, great. And let's go to add a pink arrow here, pointer, you know. So let's go to enable show arrow. Here it is. And now this is white by default. So we need to change from sub styles here it is. So arrow, present, and select pink. Perfect. Finally, let's go to add a box shadow. to the WordPress menu, you know, like the layouts from the Divi library. So let's go to box shadow, WordPress menu. Here it is. Perfect. I'm going to increase to 50 pixels, again 50 pixels, and just a different color, this one. Okay, perfect, but sure, I'm going to enable again the responsive settings because we don't want a color, you know, for the shadow on tablet. So let's check transparent, and okay, transparent also on phone. We want shadow only on desktop, and that's it. It's perfect. So it's time to okay, I'm going to disable the preview in the builder. Perfect. And now it's time to set just the three different layouts for custom, full width, and shirts. So double click on custom, your link, okay, link type, sub, and now in this case, of course, we choose Divi library, and the Divi layout is the sub, you know, and this one, Divi sub custom. The Divi layout has its own size, you know, its own size, which is 300 pixels, if you remember. But of course, you can override it from here. So in this case, I'm not to type anything here. Just the sub offset, the same as WordPress menu. So let's go to, I'm going to make something. I'm going to double click on WordPress menu. No, I'm going to copy sub offset and custom, again double click, and sub offset, I'm going to paste it. Perfect. Also show arrow for custom. In this case, there is no preview in the builder, you know, because the Divi layouts are not allowed to be visible on the builder here. You can do it, of course, from the Divi library instead. So okay, again, show arrow, perfect, and from design, sub, in this case, we're going to select pink, perfect. And finally, from custom, from full width, again, scroll down, link, URL, sub, Divi library, of course. Let's go to select the sub, full width, here it is. And now, because this is full width, you know, we need to set the alignment full width. So let's go first, to paste here the sub offset, perfect. Again, show arrow, and now let me show you the sub alignment. We need to set this one, okay, in order to make our layout full width, okay, this one, justify to both sides of the screen. Again, arrow pink. Let me again from custom, let me check something here. From link, sub width, okay, because I think the layout it's auto, you know, 300 pixels, but let me ensure typing here 100 again for tablet, for tablet and mobile, you know, in order to make the Divi layout full width on tablet and phone, not 300 pixels, you know, because here on desktop the custom layout has 300 pixels, as you probably remember. Okay, so but the advantage from here, from this field, is that you can override every size, every width for the original, you know, Divi layout. So okay, and finally the search. I'm going to double click on search, and again link type. In this case, let's go to choose pop-up, and I'm going to type here sub search. Here it is. You can enable the show close icon. In this case, I'm not to do it because you can close the pop-up by clicking on the page directly. Design, pop-up, and we're going to choose top left, you know, because we want it full width. So let's go to set maximum 100%. Let's go to disable limit width because we want it, you know, full width, and also the max height 100%, and overlay color. Let me paste the same color here, and that's it. This is the pop-up working perfectly on the front end. So once we finish, just save changes. Perfect. Save. Okay. Close. And of course, save changes from here again. And let's check our page again. Okay. Videos up. So let's go to check it. And here it is. Perfect. I think it looks nice. Perfect. Full width, and also the search. I think it looks nice. So let me say a last thing here, because as you probably note, when you reload the page, flash of unstyled content is shown, so you can avoid it by enabling just one feature from the DiviMenus. So let's go to the theme builder again. Perfect. Scroll down. Okay. Perfect. Enable the okay. Enable the from advanced visibility. Enable the show after page load. Okay. I think this is a cool feature included by DiviMenus only, and I think it's very, very useful in some cases. Okay, so now by enabling it, we can check again the final result. Okay, close. And now let's go to check. Okay, as you probably note, now the flash is not shown. Okay, I'm going to reload it again. Perfect. So that's it. Hope you like it. Of course, you can download this layout from DonDivi.com, but I wanted you to learn how you can easily recreate this kind of mega menus with DiviMenus Flex. So that's it. Thank you so much, and see you next time.